evening, everybody, and welcome to the Married to My Purpose podcast. This is Serelda, and we are back for another episode. You all know we're almost at 10 episodes, season one. This has been an amazing experience so far, so I am looking forward to talking tonight. Look, I have my prop tonight. This is my fan because I'm somewhere in the South, and you know in the South it gets really hot. So I had to make sure that I showed up because I don't want my T-zone to be sweating, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get started. Listen, tonight I want to talk about something simple. I want you to drop in the chat, walk it out. Earlier, I was in a facility and I was talking to a young lady that I met yesterday, and she said, "You left me sitting in one of the holding areas and then you moved." And she got upset. She got really upset with me. So I said, "You know what? Let's go walk it out." And that's how I came up with our theme and topic for today. Sometimes we have to walk it out. I'm in an area where today it was some kind of hot, but I still had to walk it out. I couldn't just sit in the house and do nothing. I still had stuff to do. Guess what? I had purpose work to do. I had hope work to do. I had faith work to do. Okay. So if we're going to talk those things today in terms of walking it out, let's start with number one. And that's identifying the things that you care about in terms of your purpose. And we know purpose really is all about applying your skills toward contributing to a greater good in a way that matters to you. Okay. Matters to you. Unless it matters to you first, it's not going to matter to anyone else. Have you ever seen a salesperson, or have you ever heard a salesperson on the phone and they're trying to sell you something? Let me tell you how it goes with me. The phone rings. Listen, I got my phone right here. Hello. Yes, is Serelda home? You have the wrong number because my name is Serelda. I don't tell them that. But if you can't pronounce my name, first of all, you already lost. Number two, phone rings. Hello. Hi, this is so and so, and I'm calling. How are you doing today? Your number didn't register, sir. What's the nature of your call? Well, we're looking to talk to you about blah. I hang up. Yep, I do. Why? Because you're not, number one, I don't want to be sold. And number two, I don't know you. And number three, even though I don't know you, you're not giving me any reason to continue any opportunities for us to connect because it's not beneficial to me and it does not matter to me. And lastly, telemarketers call at the most inopportune times in the world. So if you're calling me and I know I didn't set up a call, I know I'm not talking to a client, I know I don't have a work meeting, there's no reason for me to be getting calls that have spam written right across the top. Okay? So we have to focus on those things that matter to us most. Number two, reflect on what matters to you all the time. Okay. The first one is identifying those things that you care about in terms of your purpose. Number two is reflecting on those things and making sure those things that you're reflecting on, they matter most. I'm reading right now that's talking about 2x versus 10x work. What does that mean? If I'm going to focus on 2x work, if I'm going to focus on 2x initiatives that do not add value to my life, but I know that there's some other areas in terms of 10x activities, 10x vision, 10x tasks, I don't want to mess with the 2x stuff anymore. I want to elevate to 10x so that I can operate in a larger, a broader, wider space in terms of my purpose. So reflect on those things that matter most. Number three, what about recognizing your strengths, your talents, weaknesses, and your opportunities to improve and excel? We have to recognize our strengths. Do you know how many people in this world are walking around with blind spots and no one ever told them because they don't allow constructive criticism? I'm not saying every time gives you constructive criticism that you have to take it because it may not apply to your life. But one day that person may give you constructive criticism that you really will need. Recognize that you have strengths, talents, weaknesses, and opportunities to improve. Don't ever think that you have arrived. None of us have arrived. None of us. How about number four? This one is very interesting to me Try volunteering. Now, I know many of us have volunteered. If we grew up in the church, we volunteered. Nonprofit organizations, we have volunteered. Highway safety, highway cleanup, we volunteered at our children's schools. If you have children, if you were a parent in PTO, you volunteered. But what about volunteering your time to learn about you? Wouldn't it be something if somebody said, well, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm volunteering. They would never think twice about the fact that you're volunteering for yourself, for your purpose. Try it and see what happens. What are you doing today? I'm volunteering. I'm gonna do some volunteer work. Oh, okay, that's nice. Well, where are you going? I'm volunteering to make sure I learn a little bit more about myself so I can operate at the highest level, which ties into number 5. Number 5 is imagining your best possible self. What is the best possible scenario? What is the best possible scenario for you to operate at your best self? Is it you eliminating too much binge watching? Is it you eliminating taking too many naps? Now, I'm guilty because I love taking naps and I love to sleep. Is it you overextending yourself? Even though you think it allows you to operate at your maximum potential because you volunteer and you say yes to everything. A good friend of mine said, no is also a good word. No is not a bad word. No creates boundaries as well. And sometimes we have a hard time creating boundaries, which could be another podcast. But imagine your best possible self. How would it feel if there were no barriers, no hindrances for you to do everything that you were assigned in life to do? Now, take it from that point and realize that there are people that are assigned to you operating at your best possible self. Think about that. Until you operate at your best possible self, or you continue to strive, because it's not a destination, it's a journey. We evolve in seasons in our lives. I've evolved in seasons of my life. I was in college and then I went into the military. Now I've retired from the military. I've worked at the highest levels of government. I was married and now I'm not. I'm single. I'm divorced. I have children. I always wanted children. I'm able to operate in the community as a leader in nonprofit spaces. I'm a civic leader. I'm a civil servant. I've done a whole lot. I'm still doing a lot. But some of those things drop off. Our seasons evolve. There are times where I thought in terms of health scares that I had things that may have been terminal in my life and my health, but they aren't. That season passed. And that season can pass for you all as well. But you've got to imagine your best possible self. If you wake up every morning and say, what does my best possible self look like? You may start to realize that you have added things to your life that should not be there. I remember someone telling me, make sure you're focusing on the major things and not the minor things. Make sure you're focusing on the 10 things and you have to realize. So when we're talking about this, there's another piece, cultivating positive emotions like gratitude. There is no better way to live than to be grateful. No better way. And the last one is looking to the people you admire. There are people in this world that are models for me, mentors, coaches, consultants. I look to those people that I admire because I can learn many things from them. So as we close out this segment, understand there are 7 things that I want you to think about this week. How you can walk out purpose in your life. Identify the things you care about in terms of your purpose, and then reflect on those things that matter most. Recognizing your strengths, your talents, your weaknesses, and your opportunities to be better. Volunteering, and not just in the traditional way. Imagining your best possible self. Cultivating positive emotions like gratitude and being grateful. And then finally, looking to the people you admire. So as you go about your day, as you go about your week, think about how you can better walk out your life in terms of your purpose. I have had some stretch goals and some stretch tasks that have pulled me and pushed me out of my comfort zone, this podcast being one of them. But I did it, and I'm doing it. Some days when I don't feel like it, I still have to walk it out. That's what I encourage you to do. I encourage you to walk it out. I also encourage you to consider going to www.marriedtomypurpose.com, which is also going to take you to why we are creating a national conference on being married to your purpose. Because a lot of people think that being married is their purpose. Well, you've got to have a purpose individually, and you should have a purpose individually before you go into any marriage. And this podcast is not specific or exclusive to people that are married. I want to take a different angle about marriage because you need to be married to yourself first. Know yourself. Have self-awareness. Know how to court yourself. Know how to take yourself out on a date. Know how to propose to yourself, and know how to understand that it is time for you to be married to your purpose. Treat yourself well for a change. Go into a season where it is literally all about you. I didn't say arrogance. I didn't say narcissism. I said making this season all about you. Drop the stress, drop the people around you that is causing you stress, and focus on you. Okay, so as we close out this week, remember, be married to your purpose, and you are the only person that will never divorce you. Okay, so think about that. Listen, I will see you all next week. Again, this is Dr. Serelda signing off, and thank you for being focused and showing up for the Married to My Purpose podcast. We'll talk later now. Bye-bye.